Basically, in our last session, Roscoe, Devlin, and Tal fought the flaming fist mercenaries who barged into Nathek's house, while Thokk fled through the window of his room. After managing to barricade the door, Roscoe, Devlin, and Tal went up to the roof and descended using magic, ropes, and ninja tricks, or simply by jumping and falling flat on the face. So you descended to confront Grimmalk, who turned to be a very tough opponent. Tal masked the hero's retreat using his dark mist breath, while Roscoe took the lead and led the heroes toward the Rose Portal, which is a small shrine outside the city his mentor used to visit. And the heroes lost track of Thokk, who went missing at this point. At the shrine, the heroes met Orlpar. He's an old half-elf who told them Leosin indeed visited the Rose Portal and went north to search for a ruin in the Mere of Dead Men, mentioning something about the eye in the sky, which relates to the reading Roscoe had in the outer city. Orpal, he took the heroes, he took you basically to an underground garden he was taking care of. It is a dark, beautiful place full of luminescent flowers only found in the Underdark. At this point, several of you know, entered this garden carrying Thokk. This was Renil Milan, the dark elf you rescued from the troglodyte prison back in the winery near Greenest. Renil held the blue crystal Lenithan gave Thokk, and she told you that you and her need to have a very serious conversation. And then 4 more of her warriors emerged from darkness. Thokk, at this point you kind of steer and wake up. What do you do?
Are they actually her people? Are they going to attack us, or does it look like they're cruising for a fight with us?
So she is simply holding the crystal Lenithan gave you and looking at mostly at Roscoe and Tal. Thokk is just waking up. The 4 warriors behind her, they kind of look wary and ready to fight, but obviously they are under her command, and she didn't say anything except that you need to talk.
We also have... Sorry, I was going to say we also have that second option of finding the Harper guy, who may know more about the situation in the... Was it the
Undercellar.
City? Undercellar, sorry.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So we've got that as well we could do.
So, hi Renil. Nice to see you again. Thank you for returning my friend and my stone. And I just put my hand out.
She looks at that, and she looks at Thokk as he wakes up. Thokk, she doesn't kind of reach out for you to help you stand up. She just watch you struggle until you get up. And then she says, "This magical stone can be used to communicate with a dragon. Are you now aligned with the dragon cultist?"
Don't be silly. You know I wouldn't do that. I just, it's, I have a friend who's a dragon. Or, well, I mean, we're not, like, officially friends. Like, we don't have the bracelets yet, but I'm working on it. But no, I'm not part of any cult.
I'm gonna sneak in and tell our drow friend here. We use it to spy on their communication.
Can someone tell me what's going on here? Who is this?
Well, her name is Renil.
Right.
So Renil, Devlin, Renil, and this is Thokk. You haven't met Thokk yet either. Yeah, I think you did meet Thokk actually briefly. And yeah, we don't really know each other very well. We just kind of saved her life once.
Nice.
And she interjects and says, "This is the only reason why I don't kill you right now."
Whoa, 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 lady, chill out.
Slightly antisocial behaviour.
Why would you kill us? We never did anything to you.
You are obviously aligned with dragons.
We are obviously not aligned with dragons. I mean, I have one dragon friend, and then all of a sudden you start stereotyping me and stigmatization. It's not right.
Don't look at me. I have got any friends in dragon circles. It's not like we go playing poker or something.
So why do you hold this stone?
It's a secret, and I don't tell secrets, usually.
She says, "After you freed me from the troglodyte prison, I went north and visited another cult hideout searching for dragon eggs, like I was told by my matron mother. I indeed found a dragon cultist hideout with 3 black dragon eggs. It seems the dragon cultists are either persuading dragons to join them using mundane means, maybe gold, maybe promises, but sometimes they bend the will of dragons by stealing their eggs, or," and then she waves the diamond, "controlling them from afar."
Well, we're using this stone to spy on those kinds of information. Deception check.
Yeah, go for it.
My sheet's just loading. Why is it half white or half blank? Sorry for the delay. There. For deception.
She she looks at you and says, well, it seems like the wheel have turned. Previously it was you in the surface with me as a prisoner, but now," she kind of spread her hands and waves at the cave, and she says, "You are at the Kolbuth Duval. This is an ancient drow outpost. This is my world. You have visited. Now I need to think what I should do with you. You haven't told me one word of truth since we've met."
Every word I said was the truth. What are you That's...
I did save your life back there when we first met, so I'm just gonna put it there.
If you really need to know, so that we don't end up fighting and people dying, the stone... Yeah, there's a dragon in the cult who is a spy. He doesn't like them. And we have a contract or a relationship with him. We're on the same side. We're all against the cult here.
And she says, "And where does this dragon reside? Do you know?"
No, I don't know. He has not yet invited me to his house, which, I'm working on it.
So what did he tell you to do?
He said, what did he tell us to do? He said that, the cultists, they're raiding, settlements around, the region, and that the gold is being sent somewhere. And he wants us to find out, infiltrate or, capture somebody, or just kind of find out what the cultists are doing with the treasure that they steal. And we're working on it.
This is where my friend who's been kidnapped may come into it. Because he used to spy in the cult. Out of character. I am right, aren't I? Just trying to Just make sure I've got that right. The Harper guy used to be a spy within the cult, didn't he? Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
You know? Yeah.
So, to summarize, you are doing whatever this dragon told you, which is basically track down treasure, isn't it right? Treasure his own friends didn't want him to lay his eyes on. You know, dragons are truly treacherous creatures. You shouldn't take their words at all.
Well, people say that about Drow too. But this dragon has always been super nice.
She looks doubtful, and then she says, "Well, I am on a mission to find the origin of those dragon eggs, where they were taken from. I was told that they were taken from the Mere of Dead Men."
You know, that is not the first time that the Mirror of Dead Men has come up lately.
Why? What did you hear?
Well, I don't know if you believe in this kind of stuff, but I had like a tarot reading, and the lady said that, that I should be going to the Mirror of Dead Men soon. And I also found out that my master has gone there for some reason.
So she looks at all of you and says, "The Mere is a very dangerous place. If you want, we can maybe cooperate and travel there together. I have an informant there among the troglodytes who control the Mere. We can search the swamp together, find the location of maybe the cave of the dragon to whom the eggs belong. Maybe some answers will be found there."
Can I insight this to see if
Yes.
she's like sounds schemish?
Okay, go for it. So you get a sense that she's telling the truth, but not all of it. You think she has additional reasons to accompany you, but you believe that she is telling the truth about her mission to locate the origin of the eggs. It rings true, and you know that last time you have met her, she did say that she will continue and investigate and maybe find the eggs. So you think she's telling the truth that she actually found those.
Can I suggest to work, if we're gonna work together, is it possible that we can be like in separate caravans, or at least like they're gonna be ahead in one day or something like that? This is just a suggestion. Like you guys everyone can throw their opinions here whatsoever.
Well, Reniel, you did kind of threaten to take us prisoner like maybe 2 minutes ago, so I'm not against the idea of working together, but that's not putting your best foot forward. I mean, I don't know. Fuck, are you okay? What happened to you?
I'm not sure. A little fuzzy. I was talking to our friend, and then everything went black until I woke up here.
Are you missing any items, perhaps?
I don't know, am I?
Other than the crystal, no.
Okay, that's good.
I think, Reniel, we have like one or two sort of important and urgent things we wanted to do in Baldur's Gate before we leave. Are you leaving right away for the swamp, or are you kind of like taking a couple of downtime days in the city.
She smiles and says, "We aren't very welcome in this city. We have to go into hiding. I will depart pretty soon, maybe this night. I do not want to stay out in the open. I feel exposed."
Do you know what the eye in the sky is?
She roll a
Excuse me.
roll your persuasion. She seems reluctant to say.
16?
Yeah, so she says, well, I'm sorry for offending you, but you have to understand me. I am, or I should better say, my matron mother is really concerned that dragons have awakened and are taking an active role in shaping the future of this land. I will say you this. In the mirror there is a rumor of an ancient ruin, a ruin that elves built, a sect of stargazers. My people's magic showed that the eggs have somehow have some form of a connection to that place. And if you say that treasure is being headed there, maybe we are facing some ritual that the dragon cultists prepare. So I was dispatched to investigate further. For this reason, I think that we should not linger too much here. We should make our way there and find our answers.
You see, we may have more information on the situation if we can find my friend in the undercellar.
She looks at her warriors and says, "We might be of assistance there."
I'll look at the others in the group. It could be very useful if we can rescue him.
Sure.
Yeah, welcome to try.
I'm still holding out my hand for my stone. Now I'm getting a little patient. Stopping my feet.
She looks at you and hands the stone to you.
I feel relieved greatly.
So what is your plan?
I mean, do we need to rest for a little bit in the garden? I'm kind of... Thokk, you seem like you're not your best self at the moment.
Just a little fuzzy. I think I'll be fine.
Having a rest would probably be useful.
Okay, a long rest, short rest?
Short for me.
Yeah, I'm happy for an hour or so just to get back.
Okay. So, Renil basically takes a walk through the garden with Orlpar kind of stalking her, making sure she doesn't, hurt any plant. But she actually seems to be admiring the scenery and, by her body language, you feel that she kind of is comforted in some way by this familiar environment, which is like alien to you, but probably home to her.
It is very nice around here. I'll go and find a nice place to sit.
Okay.
Maybe surrounded by the flowers just to get some peace.
Okay. So when hour passes, like you can actually feel the tension with the draw warriors kind of eyeing you and are very wary. They don't remove their hands from the hilts of their swords. But Renil seems to be relaxed. Oropar is kind of sweating all over the place. He seems like two cultures collide within his cave, so he isn't very comfortable with all this. But an hour passes. What do you want to do?
I'm just going to find a place to rest for an hour. Just sort of slight meditation. But
Okay.
I'm still want to keep an eye on the people around me, so I'll find a nice little place surrounded by flowers and such to help me relax a little more.
Okay.
Does anybody need healing?
No, I'm okay at the moment.
You can spend hit dice for healing.
That's what I was asking about. I'm gonna go ahead and play my Song of Rest.
Okay. Just a minute. Okay.
I think Tal, you took a lot of damage in that fight, right? Just from jumping off the roof.
Okay. So, Renil.
So everybody gets an extra 2 hit points for every hit die they use.
Cool.
Great.
So yeah, I'm ready when everyone else is.
I guess I have 2 questions. One, Devlin, do you know where your this associate of yours is being held in the undercellar? Because it's pretty big. And I guess my second question would be, does Roscoe know his way around the undercellar?
Do I know exactly where he is? Because I think he just told me that he was in the undercellar. I don't remember there being a specific place.
So the undercellar is basically this cluster of chambers in a warren of storage cellars beneath the city. It's like a huge, sprawling, interconnected warehouse, but a lot of its like ins and outs are basically unknown, and several entrances are known to exist and are kind of considered like taverns and fest halls, and it's like if you have a guide you can walk safely there, but if you make the wrong turn you might end up in like a cultist hideout or something worse. You do know that a man named Ribbons is like he has this cafe which is actually called the Undercellar, and it's like one of the official entrances to this place. If you go to his cafe you can probably sniff around and find a way to like take a deep dive and maybe find some entrance that will lead you where you want, but it's like a far shot.
I'll relay that to the others. I'm wondering whether we'll find someone in the cafe that may have knowledge of the undercellar.
Yeah, they have
maybe Ribbon can help us.
Yeah, they have like dining areas and gambling areas. So it's like an underground casino and a cafe, and probably with some persuasion and maybe gold, you can find someone who will show you around.
The thing is, we're like wanted people in the city now, so Is there any other way of getting in there that I would know about?
So
What
when
they
you
do?
say wanted, kind of Renil looks at you and says, "Oh, this is the reason why they have your pictures on the wall. Interesting."
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting is definitely a word that applies to the situation.
But we
Neil, do
are
you know a way
innocent.
into the under cellar that's not, sort of that's unofficial and private or secret or hidden?
She smiles and says, "Yes, but you would not like the journey."
Oh.
Is it like through this? So is it like through a bunch of poop?
It is through an area of the Underdark, a very unhospitable place for surface dwellers like such as yourself. I can probably lead you through it, but I recommend that we'll use this route only if you can't find any other way in. Can't guarantee your safety there.
How far are we away from the cafe at the moment? Because I have no idea where this place we're standing in is.
So you basically left the city and went into I'll show you on the map. Wait. So you are somewhere here. I'll kind of point in this area. So the cafe or the undercellar itself is kind of around the middle of the city, like here. So it's really a matter of how you get there unnoticed, because your faces are all over the place. You did have an easy way out. It might not be the case.
And how far away from the elf inn?
From the elf song?
The elf song?
Elf song is marked with the letter G on the map. So it's like here, closer probably.
I don't know, that looks like a long way to go to not get caught, to get to the undercellar. So
This is why I suggest we simply leave. There is no point in lingering in this human city.
I'm sorry, I still have business here.
She says, "Care to share, Half-orc?"
A friend of mine needs help. That's why I'm here.
Is your friend here in Baldur's Gate?
I don't know for sure. Those that know have asked me to speak with someone on their behalf.
We
She's
also have a friend in the city, a merchant named Nathak, and he's in some difficulty right now because of us. There's a rival merchant named Grimulk who attacked us, and Grimulk, he's responsible, we think, for coordinating some of these shipments of the dragon cults. So we kind of want to either sort of take him out or expose him to the authorities, do something to Grimulk to help our friend and also to help ourselves, maybe clear our names somehow. So we really have a lot of stuff to do in Baldur's Gate, actually. I just don't know how we're going to do it without getting arrested again and thrown in jail again. And, it's very complicated.
does this woman look like some kind of a mage or something?
Yes, I think she is. She says, all this sounds like you need a lot of time. I don't think we have a lot of time. With the treasure heading north and with the eggs there, I think something big is about to happen. Are you willing to let the dragon cult run loose in the land while you have business to do in Baldur's Gate? There is the issue with the dragon cult is far more important than any friend or ally.
Well, we may be able to expedite what we need to do if we can get in and out of the city without being caught. So my question to you is, do you have any ability to be able to disguise people?
She looks at you and says, I might be of assistance, but I need a way for you to promise me that you will indeed return. I suggest this. I will cast 4 invisibility spells, and 1 on each of you. So you can run around for an hour or 2 in Baldur's Gate without being detected. Presumably, as long as you won't do any violent or hectic act. In this case, the spell will wear off. But just to make sure we are really on the same side, you should keep the crystal here with me. I will wait for you. When you get back, we can reunite and go together and explore the mirror. It's a simple deal, just to make sure you don't do anything stupid, like exposing our place here.
Instead, would you like some nice bath salts, or or maybe,
She
how about the keys to the vault in El Terrell?
she looks at
Would
you
you
and
like that?
yeah, she says nothing but the crystal will satisfy me. Obviously, it is a very important item to you, which I understand. I will keep it here for safekeeping. You can give it to the priest here if you don't want it to be in my possession.
Okay, that's a deal.
I
Here you go.
I would snatch Roscoe's hand first, and I look at him in the eye and go, "Are you really sure that you are willing to give this item?" She seems to be very attached to this item. Maybe perhaps this has something else that she wants to do with it, or she has like a different intention with it. I just feel a little bit unsure of handing out this item of yours to our friend here. I say this in a low tone, which it's just me and Roscoe and the whole gang.
I'll speak to you telepathically in response and say, well, I don't like it, but I feel like it's probably the safest way for us to get back in the city. And if we just, we have our friend Nathak there, and Thokk has his friend. I feel like it's the best choice right now. I don't know. What can she do with the stone anyway? All she can do is just talk to our friend.
The thing is, maybe I'm not quite sure what they can conspire together, but let me see if I can change our deal. So I'm gonna suggest if she would be willing to hold on to one of my magical items, so that way we have assurance that we will come back here.
She says, nothing short of the crystal will satisfy me. This is the only way to make sure you actually get back here.
Well, in return, how are we sure to trust you?
She says, you have saved me from prison. I still owe you that.
Words are hard to, or is hard to grasp, my dear.
A
I'm
crystal
not sure if I
is
can.
a crystal is not that hard to grasp. Do you agree?
I am.
And you are getting 5 invisibility spell scrolls for me. Sorry, 5? Are you 5? 4.
Is this like a potion or something?
I will ask my soldiers to provide me with some of their own equipment. We usually carry such scrolls in case we need to be in a hurry. So I'm actually putting my own security in your hands. This is my way out that you will be using.
Okay. I'm gonna discuss something with my group first. Give us a moment. So Roscoe, I'm gonna give this to you. This is gonna be your call if you wanna trust handing out your gem or crystal. I mean,
I trust Orpal mostly, although, I mean, I'm saying this telepathically. I don't. He could have mentioned that this is a drow portal before he brought us here. I mean, that was a little bit shady on his part, but yeah, I'll give it to the old man. Of course, they can just kill him and take it if they really want it. But if they really wanted it, she wouldn't have returned it to me in the first place. So, yeah, I'll give it to the old man.
Okay. She turns to her warriors and says something in the draw language, and it seems like they actually aren't very happy with us. They kind of say all those draw words, like very sharp words. You can hear all kinds of but then she kind of stares at them. She doesn't say anything, and then they simply reach out to their pockets and produce 4 scrolls. She takes them and she says, "Whenever you are ready, you will have an hour or two before this fades out. You should be here by then. And do not take any violent action. This will dissolve the spell." And if you don't say anything, she simply casts 4 invisibility spells.
Wait.
Yep.
First, before you do it, since we only have an hour, let's just clarify with one another where we're going
Okay.
as soon as we have the cast. So, are we going to the Undercellar, or are we going to the Elf Song Tavern, or are we splitting up?
Well, the person I need to speak to at the Elf Song may be able to help us out with the Undercellar.
we only have an hour. Maybe we should split up for now.
Okay.
Okay, well, it looks like the Elf Song is kind of on the way to the second place, right? I mean,
Yep.
is that accurate?
Yep.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay, so let's go to the Elf Song first.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so Renil casts 4 invisibility spells. You all fade into nothingness, and then you rush out of the rose portal with Orpal kind of holding the crystal, looking like terrified. But then you leave and head to the city. Indeed, you can find your faces kind of plastered all over the walls. The wanted people from Elturel, thieves broke into the vaults there, suspected as dragon cultists, etc., etc. So people are on the lookout, but you manage to kind of sneak your way and head straight to the Elf Song Tavern. I need you all, as you walk through the streets, first, Roscoe is basically taking the lead as he really knows the streets, the ins and outs. I need you all to roll perception checks.
And I guess we all sort of like need to hold hands too as we're going, because
Probably.
we can't see each other.
Haha. We're off on an outing. Hey.
Yeah.
All gotta hold hands.
Yeah. Okay, 17, 13 for Tal.
Where are we?
Perception. Okay. Great, thank you. So, you head to the Elfsong Tavern, which is one of the most well-known establishments in Baldur's Gate. Thokk, do you want to describe what you are looking for, how the tavern looks? You can take it.
I've never been to the tavern before, but there's a section that is reserved for private meetings. We need to find a door with a scarlet candle.
Okay. So when you reach it, you can see that the ground floor of this tavern is actually a tap room, and then it has like two more floors that are probably lead to meeting rooms. You can basically rent them, and you can see that there are a lot of people going in and out of this tavern. You do see that Flaming Fist's officer and the City Watch personnel, if they go in, they kind of remove their uniform or cloak or insignia to basically say we're off duty here. The immediate thing that you notice as you walk in is that this place is, to a tavern, it's kind of quiet. People are talking, but basically they whisper, and they seem like everyone are waiting for something to happen. It's not like they are expecting something to happen right now, but like everyone are on the edge, excited. Maybe they kind of look at the walls, they look at the ceiling, which is kind of strange, but this is what you see.
Is there any like event posting, like on the any sort of on the chalkboard or on the walls, performing today such and such or so and so, or any indication of a special event advertised?
So you don't see anything of this sort, and actually what you find strange is that you would expect like a stage for a bard to perform or something like that, but you don't see anything. All you see is like blue glass lanterns with blue flames dancing inside of them. The interior is quite dark. The place is cramped, and you can see the twisting stairways that lead from the tap room upstairs. And you can see that even the staffers, like, they politely walk among the patrons and ask them for what they want by simply whispering. Most of the drinks and cuisine is basically elven, but there are a lot of non-elven patrons here. So this is what you see.
Can I ask? Can we go back a little bit and ask a question about the burning? You said the burning fist.
The flaming
people,
fist, yeah.
The flaming fist sort of put their cloaks and stuff away when they come in here. Where do they put them?
So you can see that right after the entrance, there is like a handsome graying man who is, at least according to his body language, you think he owns the place. And he kind of welcomes the guests as they pour in. If they are wearing any uniform, he collects them and he goes back to the tavern, opens a closet and store it there. You have a feeling that this place should be like a neutral zone where people can conduct business and talk and do whatever they want to do in their private meeting places without being threatened by the law. But you can see, from just by looking at the green eyes of this handsome old man, that he is the law here. So,
I'm just, I'll quietly say to the others, have you ever fancied joining the Flaming Fist, at least temporarily?
I am a mercenary group that belongs, like what's this? A freelance mercenary before. Do I know or do I have information about the Flaming Fist?
So all you know that the Flaming Fists are a mercenary group. They were hired by the old pirates who built Baldur's Gate, like decades ago, to be their standing army. And as time passed, they basically remained as the lower city watch. So you have the upper city where the watchmen are basically born and raised within the city. They are kind of the sons of the rich people. And you have the Flaming Fists, which are like brutes and mercenary, and aren't very pleasant. And they guard the docks and the lower city. And they get paid to do their job. It's not like they like the place or something like that. It's just a job. Many of them are simply assholes.
Think of it this way. We have an opportunity to be able to go round the city with an air of authority and get the hell away from me, I'm a big shot in this place. If we say, for example, nick some of the clothing and emblems and helmets and stuff.
Yeah, I'll say telepathically back to you. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, our faces are on posters around the city, but if we cover up with the cloaks, then maybe nobody will get close enough to see our faces. So
We can always use a helmet as well, a closed face helmet if there's one or two in there. And because of being the Flaming Fist, people are not going to ask questions. They're the army here. So yeah, I think it's worth considering, definitely.
okay, I'll go and try and sneak into the closet.
It's with a shot.
Okay.
I will try and help him by distracting the guy, because I don't know whether he's behind like a desk where all this stuff is. It's like a cloakroom type thing.
Yeah, it's like a
But if it
cloakroom.
is-
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is.
If it is, then I will cast.
It'll be
Something
visible if you cast a spell.
I thought it was you made an attack. It's not an attack spell. It's just a minor illusion spell. Can we check that before I do it?
I can check and tell you. Invisibility. So the spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell.
Cast a spell, right? Okay. Then no, I won't do that then.
Yeah.
How about I poke his back or something, distract him or something like that?
Technically, that's an attack.
How
Can we
about
knock
I'm
something
invisible
over?
and I'm really, really good at sneaking?
Yeah,
so
this-
how about let's not call any attention to the fact that we're here if we can avoid it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
No problem.
yeah. Roscoe, make your stealth check. Let me just see if you get an advantage or simply who is trying to listen get a disadvantage. I'm not sure. Come on.
So
Okay,
I should
that
roll
doesn't-
with advantage, or
I will
just
tell
like-
you in a minute. Let me check. I tried to use my phone app for that, but it's simply locked. So, invisible. You're impossible to see. Hiding. You are heavily obscured. Now you're simply heavily obscured. I think it only means that Let me check. So make a roll, and then I'll check it because it's important. So. Here.
That's a pretty decent roll.
Okay. So. Okay. So yeah, I think he simply gets a disadvantage for like hearing you. Oh, actually seeing you, but he can actually hear you still. Nevertheless, it's still a roll to make sure he doesn't notice. Yeah, it's like he can't see you, but he can still hear you. So. Okay, you find yourself inside the cloak closet. There are several like helmets, Flaming Fist helmet with the red feather attached to them. They like cover the cheeks, but not the chin. And you can see several cloaks, watch people, and Flaming Fists.
Would knocking something over count as an attack and thereby get rid of the invisibility?
No. Attack and spell. I think the rules were very specific.
Right. I'll find somewhere that has, I don't know, like a vase or something.
Yep.
A bit away from the cloakroom, but if he needs it, I can knock it over, and then the guy will hopefully be distracted and wonder what's going on.
Okay.
So
great. So one of the blue lanterns kind of falls down, breaks the blue...
No, I'm not doing it yet. Sorry, I'm not doing it yet.
Sorry.
If I think he's in trouble, if he's been found out, then I'll knock it over and hopefully that will distract the guy.
Sure. So, Roscoe, what are you doing?
Okay, so I'm going to quickly try and grab if 4 of the Flaming Fist cloaks and 4 of the helmets that I feel would be best fitted to the heads of the party, but I really don't have a lot of time to to figure that out, so I'm just going to do it real quick.
Great, you collect that.
Is there any like cloak or garment in there that looks like particularly expensive?
Yes, there is. You can find this nicely silver-lined cloak with a hand signature inside of it that says Tallman's hat.
Okay, I picked the pockets.
Okay, so inside you find a golden key and a small like locket that opens up to show like the faces of 2 young women, but the locket has the form of a silver shield.
Does that mean something to me?
You roll your history check. It's kind of an easy roll, but you should succeed. Oh my god.
I do not.
Oh my god. So you think it should be important, but then well.
A golden key. Well, I don't know where this key would fit, so I don't think the key is useful to me. But the locket, I guess it looks valuable.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'll take that.
Okay.
And then plus the 4 helmets, the four cloaks, and then I'll come back to the group.
Okay, I need you this time to make a stealth check, but with a disadvantage because you're carrying like 4 helmets and 4 robes and making sure not to, smack yourself against the wall or smack into someone.
Okay. I was going to say this would be a good time for me to sort of accidentally knock over a vase down the corridor or something.
Yeah, the problem is that you don't see him unless he kind of communicates telepathically. Okay, so but still with a disadvantage, it's a high enough roll to allow you to go back to your friends, kind of carrying a lot of stuff.
Well done.
Okay, and I guess I'll telepathically communicate to Thokk or to Devlin, or but okay, mission accomplished. Let's go upstairs, find the guy.
Okay.
Okay, so Thokk, you basically lead the way into the second floor. There's kind of a lot of tight corridors with small candles that light up. In front of each door there is a candle in different color and different level of heights. Like someone rented it for an hour, someone rented it for a full night. You find the scarlet candle that marks the room hired by Kiraj. What do you do?
Knock on the door.
Please, come in.
And knocking on the door ends my invisibility, right?
No, it isn't an attack and it isn't a spell, so you're good.
Okay, can I choose to drop my invisibility?
Yes.
Okay, well, I will drop my invisibility. The others can stay invisible, and I'm gonna step into the room.
Okay.
I'll go in too.
Well, step in after him as well.
Great. So the door opens, and Thokk, you see two armchairs in front of a fireplace, a table with all kinds of smoking tobacco, and two glasses of. One of them is with wine; it's half filled. One of them is something stronger, maybe Scotch or something along the way of that. And on one of the armchairs sits a very old. You think it's. I think did I tell you Kiraj is a Dragonborn? I'm not sure. What did I tell you? Or I didn't.
You didn't tell me anything about him at all.
Okay, great. So this is like a very old Dragonborn who sits there on the armchair, and you can see it by the color of his scales. It's kind of faded along the edges. He turns to look at you. You can see that he's wearing like this plain cloak that was specifically tailored to his own body features. Let's call it that way. It's a very comfortable cloak, and he looks at you and smile.
Well, how can I possibly help you, young man?
You said there were 2 drinks on the table?
Yes?
Do I see anyone else in the room?
No?
Let's see. Kiraj?
That is my name.
I need a moment of your time, please, sir.
Well, you already had a moment of my time. You are asking now for 2 moments. So please, speak your mind.
Possibly 3. Are we alone, sir?
Are we?
Yeah, meanwhile, like the second goblet is like levitating over the table as like Roscoe is helping himself to a drink.
So you're cut off.
I need to speak with you on some matters of that are of fairly delicate nature.
Well, in this case, simply close the door.
I have already closed the door, but yeah. I guess I didn't say that. So I closed the door behind us.
Okay. So he doesn't get up. He simply sits there and looks at you.
Well?
I find myself in a precarious position. I'm trying to help a good friend of mine. And she is in a She's being held by some people who do not trust her because they believe she has an association with you. And another gentleman that I've done some favors for, who was helping me find my friend, tells me that you're someone who can be trusted. So I'm hoping this is the case.
So how does the gentleman of yours look like?
Oh, his appearance can change with his will, but he tends to be blue.
I see. And the friend you are looking for, might I suspect it is a young half-elf?
Yes, it is a young half-elf.
Well, the fact that I'm still here means that she didn't say anything. She did look like the strong-willed type. You are lucky to be her friend.
Strong-willed would be an understatement, but those that have her knew your name and suspected her of being associated with you. And they sent me to, I guess, divine the truth of that statement.
So, you were talking to Nedam. Nedam was the Dragonborn you talked to in the
yes,
cultist.
I don't think names were exchanged, but yeah.
He says, well, is this a very peculiar game we are playing? I know everything about them. They seem to know a lot about me, but we cannot act without revealing ourselves to the outer world. Yes, this is the world of shadows we are living in.
Say, I don't care much for games. I just want to help my friend.
Ah, but your friend is the pawn which we use to play our game. In a sense, you are too. He looks at the flames and says, by the number of glasses who are floating in air and being drained, I sense that you have more friends with you here, yes?
I haven't picked up a glass, so...
So Tal
Yes,
and Roscoe did.
Some of my companions are with me. Yes, we were gifted with invisibility to make it through town. I felt it impolite to address you without you being able to see me. They chose to remain invisible.
So the way
My
I
name's
see,
Roscoe. Nice to meet you. Thanks for the wine.
he smiles, bearing his the draconic fangs, and says, please be my guest. And then he turns to Thokk and he gets up. You can see that he does that with some difficulty, but eventually manages to get up, and he says, well, I think you are presented with a choice. Your cultist friends hold someone who is dear to you, and they might show you the way, willingly or unwillingly, to find her. I can do it also. It is a simple matter of choice. That said, you must understand that our associate, the Big Blue, is very concerned about their activities. I don't think he will be happy to hear that you have actually exchanged words with them. He might see it as a breach of security, shall we say? And in addition, I think I've seen some posters hung on walls resembling your like.
There was a misunderstanding in El Terrell with a sadistic old priest.
I think you should choose your alliance. You should choose who it is you trust to get you to your friend. If I am your choice, I can help you, but my help would cost you the lives of those who sent you to see me. I will not tolerate Nadam's boldness in my territory.
Obviously, my choice was to continue with those that I trust. Otherwise, I would not have presented myself to you in the way that I did.
Well, in this case, you should simply prove it by taking your friends and bringing back the head of Nadam. I can lead you to him. He probably owns a map, or at least the information needed to travel back to the hideout they took Talis to. I suspect it is somewhere in the Mere of Dead Men. I have heard rumors, but I don't know exactly where it is located.
I believe we have a way to find the location of the mirror, if not their hideout. Do you have a map or a guide to the undercellar?
Ah, the undercellar. Yes, I can show you the way. And if you want, I can even put you right at the door of this Nadam. I know where he hides, but I was unable to do something about it. But now, with your help, I might be able to act through you in delivering him a message.
Is this guy they're talking about the same guy that's got hold of my friend? Do I know?
So,
he's a dragon cultist, so he probably has something to do with them. Yes.
Yes, it's a reasonable deduction.
Okay. Sorry.
I guess I'd like to telepathically communicate to Thokk. When he says Big Blue, is he talking about who I think he's talking about?
Yes, he's talking about the one you want to make bracelets with.
Wow. So, well, if any friend of Lenithon is a friend of me, I toast to Lenithon out loud.
Okay. He says, Kiraj says, well, if we have a deal then it looks like we have a lot to do tonight. Meet me downstairs, near the tap room. There is a small room dedicated for storaging of cloaks and the likes. From there is a secret passage to the undercellar. I will open the door for you. You should come with me as a guest. Just hide your face. The rest of your friends are invisible. It should be fine.
Doorbell. I'll be right back.
When did he say he wanted us to meet him again? Sorry.
He can leave right now.
Okay, because I was going to say we only have an hour for this invisibility, don't we? So.
Yep.
It's too long.
Yeah, we're probably getting at the end of that hour.
Mm-hmm.
I stand and say, "Lead on, good sir."
Okay. As you exit Kiraj room, he simply leaves the room, locks it in, taking a small cane, and it's like half the size of his body, and he gives you, Thokk, this cloak and hood, so you can hide your face, unless you already have one. Then in this case, he doesn't.
Yeah, I already have a hooded.
Okay. He simply says, "Walk behind me in the shadows and don't reveal your face." At this point, you all descend back to the tap room, and Kiraj stands there and tapping the table, waiting for this man who owns the place to show up. He does eventually, and then Kiraj says, "Dear Eileen, I need another visit to your small clock chamber. I probably forgot something there. Would you mind opening it up for me and my friend here?" And he kind of places a few gold pieces on the table. And then the man says, "Yes, of course." And then he goes, and before he manages to even lay a hand on the door to open it, Thokk, you hear a very, very familiar voice that kind of runs a shudder through your spine.
"Good sir, I am looking for a room here. Came a long way from El Turel. Would you mind serving me and my good men here?"
And the puppeteer kind of turns around and looks at this new arrival and says, "Excuse me, Kiraj, I'll be just a minute." And he walks to meet Thokk. You know this guy as Exar, the high priest of El Turel, standing like, 2 feet from you. What do you do?
Try to be as inconspicuous as possible.
Okay. So the puppeteer kind of notices the holy symbol on Exara's neck and his clothes, and the priests that are behind him, and he asks him, "Of course, good sir, I can arrange a room for you. What is it, business or pleasure?" And Exar says,
"I have come here pursuing rumors of demon worshippers who came here after breaking into our vaults. I am about to cast a spell to reveal their location to me, but before that I need a private room so I can conduct my business without being interfered."
And then Eileen says, "Of course, I will arrange a room for you right now." And he turns to Kiraj and says, "It will take 5 minutes, sir. Please sit down, have an ale. I'll be right back."
Okay, sorry. So the old priest from El Turel who tortured Thokk just kind of showed up in this bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'll telepathically ask Thokk, what do we do? Do we jump him? I think we should jump him.
How many people does he have with him?
We can reply to Roscoe's message, right?
Yeah, so you kind of look around and you can see that with Exar there are 5 soldiers, obviously hailing from El Turel, and they seem like ready for a hunt. You can see that they have a lot of equipment, nets, bows, weapons, most of it kind of dirty from the trek here. and Exar looks like a gaunter than ever, and with his burning eyes, you can sense that he has come to do business.
Is he looking for us? I'll ask.
I just
Yeah,
nod my head.
Are you asking the group?
Yeah, asking the group.
I will mention that he stated that he's gonna perform a spell or ritual to expose our location. So I might suggest to jump him when he's in that vulnerable state.
We could do, yeah. We could tell this Dragonborn guy that he's a cultist and the Flaming Fist should come here and arrest him. We could do that as well.
Yeah, but he's not.
They're not going to believe that the head priest of one of the most respected temples in the in the nation is in league with the dragon
Is
cult.
Where's his holy symbol?
On his chest,
Do,
like
do-
visible
do
to.
we, do we have cultist clothes or robes?
I don't think so. Unless you
No.
have and I've forgotten about it. I don't think so.
We could frame him.
That's an idea.
Or we could just get the hell out of Dodge, like, right now.
I don't have a problem if you want to jump him now and beat the crap out of him, you know, somewhere quiet, maybe his room or something. Because
Because
3 of us are still invisible, so we could possibly follow him.
my concern is if we escape now, he can still track us, right?
Yeah.
Because from what I've heard, he's gonna perform a ritual to expose us. So I'm not sure if it's like it pings our location, and then if we move, we might escape him, or if he's gonna keep on continuing using that spell, we're gonna be chased out of Baldur's Gate. I'm not quite sure.
It's probably better to fight him in the undercellar, though, if we have to, than in,
Yeah.
you know, in a crowded place, soldiers, and
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
Um,
any soldiers here are going to take his side, not ours.
But we could
Mhm.
take him in his room. If he's going to be doing a ritual in
Yeah.
a room, then we could take him in the room and there'd
Yo.
be 3-4 of us and him only. So it's one idea.
What do you want to do, Thokk? You're the one he tortured.
Well, I want to take him out, but I have reservations about taking on a high-level cleric and his private army. Especially
could
not
go-
in public. So I think we need to get down into the undercellar and take care of business there and let him come to us.
Okay.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So what was it? I didn't hear the last sentence of you, Will.
Oh, I was saying I think we should get down into the undercellar and take care of business and then deal with him when he catches up with us.
Okay, got it. Great. So Eileen, who is the puppeteer, takes Exar and his men upstairs, probably showing them their room. Kiraj is waiting politely, and then when Eileen gets back, he opens the closet door.
Before he gets back,
Yep.
I will say to Karaj, Karaj, we gotta go now. Like, I'll open the door.
Ooh.
Like, let's go.
He looks at you, and you feel like he managed to do a 1+1 in his head. He doesn't say anything though. He simply gets into the closet, separates several robes and exposing a small door, unlocks it, opens it, and says, "After me." So you all file in rank and follow Kiraj throughout this what seems to be like a warehouse, an underground warehouse. You take a flight of steps downstairs, and Kiraj starts to basically turn left, right, left, right, left, left, right, opens the
I'd
door.
like to distribute to everybody their Flaming Fist helmets and cloaks.
Okay, great.
And I'll put mine on. I know that Thokk is visible, so he probably needs it the most at this point. And also, if we run into anybody down here, it would be probably helpful for us.
Yeah, I'll put it on.
Okay. Great. So, you are being led with Kiraj by your side, left and right through the maze of chambers and passageways. He sometimes, you can sometimes see people there, maybe talking to each other, maybe shaking hands and exchanging something. He simply nods when he sees them, and they nod back. It's like this, under society area, so he seems to be well connected. And after it seems like more than an hour of walking, you get to a place, Thokk, you believe you start to smell the sea, or at least there's a lot of moisture and saltness in the air. And it kind of rings a bell. You think that the cultist hideout was indeed near the docks, where you have boarded that ship. So you think you are getting very close. Anything you want to do in the meantime?
I'm just keeping my eye out for anything that looks like it might be familiar or like we're getting into the right area.
Okay.
I'd like to ask Karaj how he knows Lenithon.
He says that Lenithon is part of an ancient sect, a draconic sect, that is mostly worried with, how should I put it? So, and Lenithon told you that as well, that the cult of the dragon is trying to subdue dragons or convince dragons that they should be kind of the rulers of the world, but in an essence, the dragon cult is like the real rulers. They basically subdue and force dragons to cooperate, turning them into undead dragons that are under their control. And the sect that Lenithon belongs to is like really opposed to that. You do believe that Lenithon sect is more about live dragons that should rule the world, in a sense, and they see the cult as like a very big enemy. Kiraj tells you that he was a part of an adventuring company that was once belonged to the cult, and really believed in their way, but when they witnessed a ritual that transformed a live dragon into an undead one, and then they've seen and witnessed how the soul of the dragon was captured by the cult and is in control of the cult, like the cult controls it, they realized that something is wrong here, and they defected. Lenithon
You made
was
the right decision.
Lenithon was like the next candidate to be transformed into a Dracolich. So they actually revealed the dragon's cult scheme, and this way they became friends. Not friends, but associates.
He doesn't like that word friend, does he?
Yeah, not really. So eventually, Thokk, you get into the position where Kiraj kind of points the way and says, "This is the door. Am I correct?" And indeed, it is. What do you want to do?
Do I hear anything on the other side of the door?
So there is the usual chanting, and you make a perception check. See if you can hear more.
Nope.
So you can hear people talking, but you can't hear exactly what about.
I'm going to turn to Roscoe and say, "There's people talking on the other side of the door, but I can't make out what they're saying. Can you hear anything?"
Okay. I'll put my ear to the door.
Okay. Make a perception check. Okay.
Nope.
So no, the chanting seems to be kind of interfering with whatever you're trying to hear, but
Are
obviously.
you sure there are people on the other side of this door? Maybe it's a different door.
Maybe.
What door? Did you find the door? With that clueless at the moment perception, I'm not even sure we found one.
I think I'm gonna, because one thing sort of makes Roscoe a little uncomfortable, and I'll telepathically ask Thokk. So, we're just gonna go in here and kill a bunch of people? Like, are we sure that that's the right thing to do?
Well, these are the same. This is the same dragon cultists that were destroying Greenest.
Oh. Okay. And killing them is gonna help you find your friend? Don't they know where she is? I'm confused about it.
Oh.
I mean, I'll do it. I'm just kind of confused.
They the dam that leads this group knows where she is, but I don't think he's going to tell me without encouragement.
Oh, so we have to give them like a pep talk.
No, I think we need to search their bodies and find a map.
Oh, okay. That kind of pep talk. That's different. Okay. Are we still invisible, by the way, or is it worn off?
Worn
Okay.
off.
Okay, so do we have a plan of a plan of attack?
Kiraj takes a step back and says, "I will be watching from afar. Once Nedam is dead, then we can talk more business."
I think you should help us, Karaj. That's what I think.
Too old for this.
Oh, you're old. Okay, I'm sorry. You're like a reptile. I can't tell.
Okay, so what is your plan?
Is the door unlocked? Or it's
It,
going to need to be locked.
it-
Unlocked.
it wasn't locked last time Thokk visited the place.
Those of you who can cast spells, is there like a spell you want to cast at the beginning before we jump into the fight?
I'm thinking of sleep, maybe, but definitely I will cast. I may cast sleep, but what I will cast is hex. So I will cast that now.
Okay. So Kiraj takes a step back while you cast your spell. What does it do exactly? I'm sorry.
Hex gives me an extra d6 to stuff like Eldritch Blast and things like that, and
Okay.
also when I use it, I can give them.
But you have to have a target.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but you can do that with a bonus action. So you use your bonus action to target one guy, and then you can start using it on him.
Yeah, so you kind of your plan is to barge in and use hex and from there continue. That's fine. Okay.
I'm not going to barge in. I'll wait for everyone else to go. It's
Right.
basically a buffing spell rather than an attack spell.
Yeah, sure. I understand. Okay. So anything else you want to do before breaking down the door?
I guess we want to go for the head guy first, right?
Okay, so who opens the door?
I
That
will.
sounds important.
Yeah, you can stand there all night. Someone will have to open the door. Maybe.
I knock on the door.
Okay.
Housekeeping.
The door opens, and you can see a robed man looks at you quizzically, Tal. But you're a dragonborn yourself, so he kind of looks at you, trying to identify you. What all of you are seeing inside the room, Thokk, you're already familiar with it, like urns around a big statue of a five-headed draconic figure. Around it there are people chanting, but in front of the altar you can see two people that weren't there previously. Thokk, you see one that has to be a half dragon. Green scales, holding like this huge scythe in one hand, and he's obviously berating Nadam. All you hear before the conversation kind of dies as they look to you is, well, obviously they are here, and you just let one of them go back to the surface and head to Kiraj. What kind of a fool are... And then the conversation stops, and they all look at you.
How many of them are in the room
So
altogether?
kind of
So how many different ones, I should say?
quickly counting, you can see 6 people chanting. You have Nedam, who is like the head, cult cell here. Thokk at least talked with him. You have this half dragon, which you didn't see before, and on his knees on the floor you can see a human. You can only assume is the spy, the Harper spy that was mentioned to you, as he's shackled in legs and arms.
Okay.
How close is the prisoner to the half dragon?
Right next to it. It kind of towers above him.
Because I think, I think I'm going to cast sleep in a minute, but okay. I'm waiting for that.
So, yeah,
Okay. How big is the room?
quite big.
Well,
Okay.
I'm sorry. You
Yeah,
mentioned that you had to go
yeah.
fast,
I'm just about to say that. Obviously, we'll start next session with an initiative roll, which.
Okay. I was gonna say I was gonna start the ball by dropping a shatter behind the half dragon,
Okay,
so that it catches him and as many of his friends as possible without getting the prisoner.
great. So I think.
And I'm going to drop a sleep as well onto the 6
Okay, so if you
chances.
if you can just simply write down, maybe in chat or something like that, what you want or think you should do, and then next time when we start, it will simply be like simply continuing this fight. And
Do you want it in Discord or do you want
no,
it in
I don't want it. You can change it. I don't mind. At least like anyone, if you thought of something, just write it down, so it will be easier next time to start it.
Okay.
But it's not a must. Like, if you want to think about it even more, it's fine. I will share before the next session, like the room layout, so maybe it will be easier for you to figure out what's going on.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I think just to quickly say, next session, Israel, you have daylight savings like 2 days before Europe, so we're going to be an hour earlier
Okay.
next week.
So I will
those of us here.
so a day before I will write in Discord like, hello, now it's 8 for me, and then we can all look at the time and sync.
No, I mean, actually, it
Cool.
occurs like overnight for you, like just like right before the session.
Right.
I think it's like 2 a.m. on Friday that you convert.
Yeah, it's
So-
usually 2 a.m.
Right.
for daylight savings.
This is why I said 8 a.m. I will like ping on Friday 8 a.m. and say this
Oh,
is 8
okay,
a.m.
cool.
Hopefully it will sort things out. Okay, so next time it's a showdown with the cult. Cool. Let's see who comes out victorious.
We will. We are confident that our superior skill and superior intellect will win the day for the righteous.
Ooh, yeah.
And I have my alternate character ready to go after we die.
Okay. That's
Oh,
the spirit.
that's positive.
This time we are actually assaulting them,
Yeah.
not the other way around.
Right. Right. Correct. Okay, guys. So have a great weekend, and we'll meet next week.
Okay, so you assault them and I'll pepper them with spells, right?
I was going to start peppering them with spells as well, but yeah, okay. We've got a plan.
Yeah.
Ish.
Okay,
And I'll
guys.
start peppering them with pepper.
Yeah, I'll pepper them with salt, and then they'll be well garnished when we
Amazing.
need them.
Okay, great. So yeah, see you next week, guys.
Thank
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks,
Yeah.